Okay, hey everybody, welcome to welcome to one of our semi-final matchups. This is Out of Tangos versus, what are they playing under on the bracket? It's Out of Tangos versus Doxy, that they are Slayer in game. So this is our first semi-final. The other quarterfinal is still just wrapping up, so I might actually make it to both of them. I'll just wait for everyone to load in, and then I'll do a slightly more formal introduction as well. Let's just change one or two things around. So hey everybody, welcome back to the Adroit's TT eSports Dota 2 Weekly. As always, I am Basket, bringing you guys this game. This is one of our two semi-final matchups. It's going to be Out of Tangos over on the Radiant side, and Slayer one more time, or Doxy over on the Dire. It's Doxy in the brackets. So thanks everyone for tuning in. That's about it. Remember to support the tournament in every way that you possibly can. There's a whole bunch of well, you can follow the Twitter account, which is @AdroitsTweets. There's the YouTube page, which is AdroitsTV, and you can also subscribe to this channel, or follow this channel on Twitch. Getting underway with the draft. Out of Tangos are going to have first pick this time around, and they are going to be on the Radiant, and it's actually going to be the same bands that we saw last game, the Lone Druid and the Wisp removed. But this time they do have first pick. Nyx is going to be banned out by Slayer. And a whole bunch of ban-worthy heroes do remain in the pool at this point, so we'll see what they opt for. Magnus is still here, Darkseer is still here, Coddle's still here. We didn't really see Coddle PL last game. Wasn't really considered, but Coddle's going to be the ban. So Magnus makes it through into the pool, along with the Darkseer. Darkseer is a fairly standard pickup at this point, and then the response... Oh, actually, Batrider made it all the way through. What am I on about? So Batrider actually makes it through into the pool with that Coddle ban. Not sure why I quite forgot him, but we haven't actually seen him played in about a million years. So Magnus Rubik perhaps going to be the response here for Slayer. No, it's actually going to be the Magnus Shadow Demon. So nice little choice. Again, the Shadow Demon is great against PL. He's great against Nyx, and a good all-around support as well. So Rubik does remain in the pool. The potential counter, well, not the potential counter, but the potential thorn in the side of the Magnus as far as supports go. And what else? There's still plenty of great heroes left in the pool. The Darkseer is there as well, and we saw Plox play that to fairly good effect. So Rubik and Darkseer are going to be the two pickups, 2 for 2 there. What's it going to be? Okay, so at this point, what are we looking at? Magnus is probably heading towards mid, but he's going to be up against a Batrider, which is not a fun matchup necessarily for the Magnus. Anyone landing against Batrider isn't all that much fun, so we might see a support force towards mid to try and help out Magnus at least a little bit. He could be on the offlane as well, but obviously not quite as strong as the Darkseer, so in that potential comparison, in both potential comparisons, wherever the Magnus ends up, he's not necessarily going to have a great time, so we'll see how it all works out. Magnus can always just sort of farm with his Shockwave and is okay in every single lane, but he's not necessarily going to be dominant against either of them. And I'm just going to check in on one thing. So, getting back. Yep, and it's so weird having 2 minutes of stream delay. I'm not used to it whatsoever. I'm normally spectating via Dota TV, and that means that I'm live with my viewers and 2 minutes behind the game, which is a bit weird. Luna's going to be picked up here by Slayer one more time. So that's going to be their carry. Again, I think I've already touched on how good Shadow Demon is at sort of covering Luna's weaknesses. Later on in the game, you can just use the Disruption to make some illusions and use them for slow rolling pushes. You can get some Disruption illusions, some Manta illusions, go send them to slam the tower, and chip away without really committing. So that's always a nice feature of the Shadow Demon. Obviously, he covers the fairly squishy Luna as well. As far as the secondary support goes for Out of Tangos, it would be nice. Oh god, it would be nice to see them pick up someone who synergizes with the Rubik and also punishes defensive disruptions. And yes, I gotta stop menu bar there. Yeah, but I won't be all tabbing out anymore or bringing up my Windows screen. But so it'll be nice to see them pick up. It'd be nice to see them pick up someone who's going to be able to punish defensive disruptions by having a follow-up stun. So you could have Alina, you could have Leshrac, you could have a Ancient Apparition. All three of them combo quite well with Rubik, and all three of them combo quite well with Shadow Demon, but in this case, they're actually looking to punish the Shadow Demon pickup. So out of Tangos are going to choose to ban out the Chen. As far as lanes go, out of Tangos are just looking for their second support, and a carry and a Slayer right now are just looking for their support and their offlaner. So we might see some support bans thrown around. Darkseer probably just going to be off lane, Batrider probably heading towards mid. So it's pretty standard as far as things go right now. Sand King's going to be banned out here by Slayer, so it looks like they were tuning in to Out of Tango's last game. Not so sure if the Batrider is going to need gank support on mid, so Out of Tango's could play a slightly greedier support here. They could even choose to play something like a support Gyrocopter. It's very NTH-esque, or even a support Sven. But we'll see what the choice is going to be for them. Again, not sure how active they're going to have to be as far as ganking mid lane, especially with the Batrider taking that role. So it would be nice to have the option if Batrider tries to have a hard time with ganks coming from Slayer, but right now I think Out of Tangos can afford to play a little bit more greedy with that support pickup. As far as carries go, Nakes is still an option, but Luna's actually fairly good against the Nakes, especially when you've got a Shadow Demon in the pool. You can always purge Nakes through his magic immunity. Luna's got naturally very high move speed, so that's always nice in terms of dealing with the Nakes. You can just kite him around. And then also she's actually got quite low HP, but builds a lot of Agi and also builds a Manta style, so she can split out of open wounds. She's got a lot of armor, which helps mitigate Feast's damage, which is all physical. And then the other nice thing is that because she doesn't have all that much health and she builds armor and evasion naturally through agility and then having a butterfly, it means that she can actually sort of stand up and fight the Nakes because he's not getting that much HP back by just straight out fighting the Luna. So it's always nice to have Luna, and that's maybe part of the reason that we won't necessarily see Nakes in this game, but there are also some other options left in the pool. The Anti-Mage is still there. We've also got the Faceless Void. As far as the popular carries go right now, we saw a Weaver in the last game against Out of Tangos, which actually worked out quite well. He was a pretty popular carry back when the hero pool was quite limited. And Nakes is actually going to be banned out here by Out of Tangos. They've also chosen to ban out the winner as that offlaner. Bounty Hunter does remain in the pool as a potential offlaner, but OOT have shown that they know how to deal with it. So we'll see if that's going to be the choice. Anti-Mage is going to be banned out here by Slayer. So maybe trying to meander Out of Tangos perhaps towards that Faceless Void pickup. And picking up the Faceless Void, especially against an early game lineup or an early to mid game lineup that Slayer does have, it can be a big gamble. If he can make it to the late game, if he can find some good Chronospheres in the mid game and find that farm, then he's great. But if he gets shut down, then you've got a problem. And one thing I haven't mentioned is that Slayer could actually look to pick up something like a Jakiro and then go for an offensive tri-lane. It'd be difficult, especially with Luna, and Out of Tangos again have now chosen to pick up the Luna, so they've got a support that can punish defensive disruptions and combos nicely with the Rubik, so I definitely like that pick. Now they're just looking for their carry Slayer right now, considering their offlaner perhaps, or just their jungler. Nature's Prophet could be an option as that combined offlaner slash jungler. And then just looking for that last support pickup. Would be nice to see them get something of their own to combo with the Shadow Demon, perhaps the Leshrac. I want to mention VS, especially against a Batrider, and Sven is actually going to be the choice. So Slayer, we might just see a support Sven in this game since Luna can't really sort of be bumped back into a support role. I talked about a slightly more greedy playstyle from Out of Tangos, perhaps, as far as their supports go, but this might actually be what's happening with Slayer. So, for those of you who are familiar with No Tidehunter, they often run support Svens and support Gyrocopters, which has been affectionately nicknamed the Ake Copter by some people. And the idea is that you have a semi-carry, well, effectively a semi-carry, playing your 4 role, and then they stack up the jungle, they get farm. They don't really look to gank that much, but it gives you another damage-dealing hero for the mid-game. So it's pretty greedy play, but if you can do it properly, then it works out fantastically. Gyrocopter is actually going to be picked up here as the carry, I believe, for Out of Tangos. So nice to see Gyrocopter. Again, we haven't seen all that much of him in the last little bit, or at least I haven't been watching as much competitive Dota as I normally do, but try to stay on top of it all the same. And Slayer, it's actually going to be a puck pickup, so that might be their offlaner here, or perhaps the mid bumping Magnus over to the offlane. One unfortunate thing for the Magnus is that while he's skewering, he's not actually immune. or invulnerable, anything like that. So as soon as he starts skewering, you can actually just lift him straight out of it using a stun or just using the Rubik's Telekinesis. So that's not fun. It's probably why we won't necessarily see the Magnus on the offlane. Again, I'm not really familiar with both of these teams, so just seeing who's picked up what doesn't necessarily give me any clear hints on how those lanes are going to be played out, but I would suspect the puck is going to be out on the offlane, and then Magnus is going to be heading towards mid. So Slayer have some pretty good team fight right now between Dreamcurl, the Reverse Polarity, and the Eclipse, though out of Tangos, not too shabby either. Vacuum, a lot of AoE damage on their side as well. Vacuum, wall, flat cannon over the top. Gyrocopter's probably going to have to look towards a fairly early BKB in this game just to deal with the Shadow Demon and the Sven. So getting into the game, going to be running over who's playing what. Over on the side of Slayer, I clarified the pronunciation for Imba Krastavak before the game, so I'll just call him Imba. He's going to be playing the Luna. Petrico is going to be on the Magnus. Mighty is going to be on the Shadow Demon. Someone's going to have to help me with that one. Raw or AWA, something like that, is going to be playing the Sven, and PSTM is going to be on the puck. And both of these teams know each other, so we've got some friendly stuff going on during this pause. Over on the side of out of Tangos, Plox is going to be on the Darkseer, Frigolite on the Lina. A nice hat going on there, as you can see. Maglev Gank Train is going to be on the Gyrocopter Steph style. I called him Seth style last game, so profuse apologies for that one. And profuse apologies for the overlay mistake. Fixing that one right now. Sorry about that, guys. So, and this isn't a scrim? Wow, I guess these teams are pretty familiar with each other, so hopefully we'll see some exciting Dota just by virtue of that. Oh, we've got some shoutouts. I guess I'll do shoutouts. Shoutouts to all of Team Ubri Hot Pockets, TYH. You guys all know who you are. Shoutouts to all of AQ. And shoutouts to anyone who knows me but I've forgotten, so those are all of my shoutouts for this game. And I guess a specific shoutout to Ku, because I think he requested it, and also one to Endo. But yeah, it's gonna be it for me. We're gonna be getting underway with the game. Oh, and CYSO is gonna be playing the Batrider. So getting back underway with the game, I'm going to try and pour myself a glass of water. Magnus is gonna be on mid since he's got a Bottle Rush already primed, so that sort of shows us our lanes. Puck probably going to be taking up that off-lane role. And good luck, have fun from both sides. Nice manners, always nice to see in Dota. Looks like it is just going to be a defensive tri-lane from out of Tangos. They do have a smoke picked up on the Lina, so there's some early game aggression potential there. Floxplox is actually going to be starting off just on top, so no jungling for him to start things off. Batrider just a standard Bottle Rush primed. And Mag, he's just got a Ring of Protection picked up. Could be an Aquila, could be some Tranquils, could be a swap between Bazzi and Tranquils just for push and then heal. We've got Slayer coming down to try and get some wards off in the Radiant jungle, perhaps. Not throwing any down just yet. Is Mighty going to be looking for Magic Bush? Magic Bush is a really obvious ward. It's placed here. For anyone who doesn't know, it blocks both this camp and it also blocks this camp, but that specific combination is only really achieved by 2 wards or this one, so it's pretty easy to de-ward. And looks like Mighty wants to hold on to that ward, perhaps. So not actually opting to run any blocked camps down on bot, and just waiting around for the Zerman Urn. We'll see what it is. PSTM, where is he going to be starting off? Is Magnus actually going to be our offlaner here? Maybe still just going for a bottle to sustain that spam. We'll have to see, but yeah, I called Magnus heading mid because of the sort of Bottle Rush build that he's got, but it's not actually going to be the case. Starting off on this offlane, and no blocked camps either. He's going to be pulled. He's going to be pulled to death, I think. We'll have to see. Depends on how aggressive OOT are feeling, or how much farm they feel like they can get up. They've got a lane ward down as well, spotting out all of his movements. And Magnus doesn't have the luxury of knowing where these Radiant supports are whatsoever, so he's just going to take some harassment right now. We've got a disconnect off by the Sven, so it looks like we'll have a very quick pause and a very quick opportunity for Steph Style and Frigolite to decide if they want to try and find this kill. Petrico is still holding on to his point, so he's got a very short-range skewer up his sleeve. If he needs it, I think he should be fine to escape, but he may not get away with his salve. The name I can't read is Gasha. Thank you. Thank you to Hypotenuse in chat. And you'll get that thank you in 2 minutes. So that's Gasha, who's disconnected. He has now reconnected and both teams ready to go. Some pings going out down on bot. Looks like Petrico should be okay. He's going to be lifted up into the air, straight back into the Light Strike Array. Can skill up that point in Skewer if he thinks he needs it. But it looks like he's just going to go back and then maybe pop off that salve. We'll see if he's being especially cheeky and will drop 3 GG branches as well. No, he's just going to be getting the salve healing. Dropping the 3 GG branches would mean that he gets a little bit more out of that salve, but it doesn't really matter. And Magnus actually going to be opting to stack up the Ancients once, so a little bit of banked up XP for him later on in the game, especially with a Luna and a Sven on the board. So our mid matchup is a Puck against a Bat Rider. It's a pretty good matchup for the Bat. Frankly, the Puck does have some good tools to try and stay alive. And it's playing out right now with Bat Rider being fairly well ahead. Oh, but we've got a smoke gank around. Oh, they might even find the courier. Oh no! Oh no! This could swing mid lane the complete opposite direction. So someone cue some March of the Valkyries or something like that. They see the courier. They go for it. They kill it. Courier's dead. 3 minutes. Bottle there as well. And this is huge. Bat Rider is now behind on a mid. Puck gonna have a pretty good time and. His bottle or its bottle ready to go right now. 2-minute rune just about to spawn at the same time. So looks like Mighty's just going to wait around for that one. But yet, cheeky tactics from Slayers, and it's a really nice way to help win mid lane. We've actually got a haste picked up. Phlox might be in trouble. We've got 2 heroes coming in from the rear. The stun and the disruption ready, and Phlox pretty low on mana. Doesn't want to throw the surge in case he gets disrupted. So it's a little bit of battle of wits right now. Phlox still surviving, still not using the surge just yet. Makes it back to the safety of his tower. Nicely played. Not actually enough kill potential there from Slayer. So just going to pop off his salve and be fine. Looks like Petrico is just going to go for another stack up on these Ancients. Not a single point of XP going his way just yet. We've now got a smoke heading towards mid, perhaps looking for a kill, get the equilibrium back in Bat Rider's favor. And unfortunately not going to be able to get his boots either. PSDM deep in, uses the orb. This is big trouble. He doesn't have an escape mechanism anymore. Lifted up, hit by the tower, the Light Strike Array as well, and the first blood drawn by the Bat Rider. PSTM maybe not having a call from Petrico. They don't have any tabs on the Radiant supports right now, but using that illusory orb as aggressively as he did really ensured his death. I mean, did have a point up in the phase shift, so had he thrown the orb in the other direction and then maybe managed to phase shift one of the stuns, maybe phase shifting the follow-up stun, then he might have been okay, but just using it to try and get a few last hits in the end killed him, and being all the way underneath the tower in the very compromising position that he was. Steph realizing that something is up right now. They haven't seen Petrico in lane for a while, and he's not gaining levels either. If he was over in the small camp or something like that, you'd see that he's already up to level 2, so that's another resource that players do have. Just bring up the scoreboard, see, okay, Magnus is still level 1. He's not really off pulling. He's not really off doing anything right now. So he's probably in the Ancients, and we've got one creep just freaking out as he tries to get back in there. Relentless pulls run from OOT. As far as warding goes right now, we've got a similar story for Slayers. They've got a lane ward down, spotting out Phlox, and also a ward on the rune. So it's pretty much a mirror matchup right now. Phlox goes up. This could be trouble. What have we got? Phlox, can he just run away again? There is a stun available. Soulcatcher not up just yet. Shadow Demon still down at level 1, trying to keep the Darkseer out of lane. And if he actually had the 1 point up in the Soulcatcher right now, Soulcatcher and the stun might have been enough to freak out Phlox and then force him to surge and then go for the disruption. He doesn't have any way to tango his way out if he goes in through that juke, so opts to come down to the second one, which is nice. Nicely played by him. The Iron Shell going to keep those creeps away as well, so no safe dives going on for Slayers. The Radiant Courier has now respawned, so Bat Rider going to finally get his items out, though it looks like a Midas perhaps might be making a trip down towards bot. It is going to be a Midas, so gets priority over the Bat Rider's bottle. He's going to have to hold tight just for a little bit longer. Petrico now makes his way up into the Radiant jungle. Tries to get a double stack off, only gets the hard camp there. Got some ping spam going out, and they actually managed to get the siege creep out of the camp, which is big. Unfortunately, the siege creep did manage to block out this camp, just with sort of the freakish way that it works. And as I say that, Phlox does die up on top. Soulcatcher finally picked up. That might have actually been from the XP from that kill. So I missed that one. Sorry about that, guys. A little bit too engrossed with talking about the pull mechanics. Pulling with a Siege Creep is really annoying, because the Siege Creep drops aggro really frequently with the normal creeps, and then it pulls them back, and it dances them in and out of the camp, and that's why the wave is pushing right now with the double wave. But OOC might actually be able to use this in their favor and pick up a little bit of early tower gold. If they do go for this, then the Magnus can come down towards bot and try and maintain lane equilibrium and get some EXP, and he's actually going to be TPing down right now just to try and soak up what EXP is arriving at his doorstep. So he manages to make his way up to level 2. We've got Illusion scouting out the 6-minute runes. A nice little play there by the puck. He's actually keeping pretty good pace with the Batrider on mid, I have to say, and he's actually going to be able to pick himself up a double damage rune as well. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at stream chat again. Anyway. As far as farm goes, Mag is a little bit further ahead. What's the item build going to be for Luna? It's actually going to be an Aquila, and it looks to be a drum as well. So some early game effective items, slows down the BKB a little bit. We'll see how much Imba is going to be able to make out of them. We've got another gank heading towards mid between Mighty and Gasha. The third on the sentry, they know that this is not seen since there's no ward up and around here. Batrider is fortunately pretty close to his tower. PSTM comes in, he's got the Dream Coil. Batrider going to try and make his escape. Firefly's up, he can just dance on the cliff right now to try and save his own life with the Soul Catcher and the stun. Now goes onto the low ground, the double damage up on Puck, enough to find that kill, and now a TP in by Steph Style. Oh, the Courier! Oh, be careful with the Courier, and now Floxblocks is here as well, but 3 heroes should be fine to make their escape. Frigolite comes in at the same time, but that's going to be about it. So, a whole bunch of heroes coming to aid of mid, but just a little bit too late. Oh, and the Eclipse pops up on top. Floxblock's in trouble. It's going to be one more Lucent Beam. Not enough mana right now, but Imba still wants this. He's very fast. Flox trying to juke. Still juking! Right click is there. Might Imba die? And we've got Batrider flying in. Actually knocks the Luna a little bit further away. Unlucky there. Can he get in range? Needs some sticky napalm. Mighty is waiting for him. And that flame break means that Luna is going to be fine to escape. Oh, and Batrider might be in trouble again. Frigolite comes in. Disruption up on him, trying to TP out, but the drag away onto Mighty. Is anyone else going to come and help him? There's the stun. We've got a Lucent Beam down. And Crash it. Oh, he popped the Warcry. Doesn't have enough mana for the Stormhammer. Wouldn't have had enough anyway, since he was down on 100 after using the 25 mana spell. But yeah. Looks like Shadow Demon was expecting a follow-up stun there from the Sven, but in the end it wasn't ready to go. So, just a quick 20-second pause called here by Frigolite. 1 kill is the lead right now for the Dire side. XP about 1k in their favor, and gold a very meager 250 there. And what have we got going on? Batrider's, it's going to be a pretty slow Blink Dagger for him, frankly, with that death, though he does have 2 kills to his name. So doing a pretty good job in that regard. As far as net worth goes, does seem he's a little bit behind the puck at the moment. There's nothing on the Courier for either side, so that net worth graph is 100% accurate at the moment. And Gyrocopter pulling ahead just because of that Hand of Midas. Petrico finding some levels now down on this bottom lane, so now up to level 4, able to harass the level 8 Gyrocopter a little bit. It's pretty much a straight carry gyro build. From Mag, he's got Flat Cannon, he's got ult, he's got 1 point in Rocket Barrage, and he's got stats. That's where the remaining points are going right now. So, unpause called. We're going to be getting back underway with the game. Offlane Magnus doing okay for himself. I guess obviously not as strong as having a mid Magnus, and he doesn't necessarily need to initiate though in this game. They've got a Puck. If Puck can get its blink or her blink or his blink or whatever you want to call it, then that with the Dream Coil is going to be the primary initiation, and Magnus doesn't necessarily need to get an early Blink Dagger up. And again, teamfight looking pretty good right now for the Dire side. And a lot of that is the fact that they've got more stun-based teamfight, while OOT do have a lot of AoE, and they've got some good slows as well. And the Gyrocopter Ultimate was just fixed recently. It does now slow through BKB again, which is intended. It wasn't working before, so that's a minor buff to the Gyro, which is actually a bug fix. But yeah, that's worth noting, I suppose. So OOT, they've got Vac, they've got Call Down, they've got lots of Flat Cannon damage over the top, but they don't really have the same level of stun the Dream Coil and the Reverse Polarity are going to be offering, but Rubik, ace in the hole as always, might be able to grab the Coil, might be able to grab the Polarity, and that could spell trouble. Tier 1 tower under pressure up on top right now, but the Iron Shell doing a good job of holding them back, and Phlox doesn't have his Soul Ring up just yet, but does actually have enough gold if he can get the wave pushed out. So not having a great time on top, but well, actually so only really keeping pace with Petrico. Right now the stun goes out on Petrico, he's got 2 points up in the skewer to try and make his escape. It's only the Lina here playing aggressively. Mac is actually off clearing out a stacked hard camp for a little bit of gold, so Lina just being as scary as she possibly can. And Mighty still just hanging out down here on the bottom lane. It's 2-on-2 right now as Slayer look to put on some pressure. Seth comes in, he's actually got Spell Steal up. Interesting to see that he didn't just opt to grab something right off the bat. Since it's got a fairly low cooldown, it's always nice to have something. And Shadow Demon's only level 3, it's only Disruption or Soul Catcher, both of which are absolutely fantastic spells to have. So, Summon Urn, we've actually got a haste on Petrico, the regen pops off from PSTM, didn't really have an option in the matter, and Mag still just continuing to farm up these stacked camps right now, trying to get... Do they have level 6 up on the Lina? That's a big deal, they do. So they now got the Laguna Blade available and the Spell Steal, and I really like the play from OOT. Gyrocopter heads off into the jungle, finds some farm for himself, and then lets the Lina get some important levels, but hold on, Batrider's in trouble on mid. Reverse Cloudy gonna be thrown down as well as the Dream Curl for him. Should be dead, pops up the stick charges, the skewer misses, but one more right click from PSDM finds that kill. We've got some TPs coming in, but Steph immediately disrupted. Manages to steal himself a Illusory Orb, but that's going to be about it for this middle lane, and actually gets down to about half HP as well, just from all those creeps and the nukes. So a TP and then a trip back to base just so we can find that steal. Up on top, the tier 1 will fall by taking that last hit. And what's he going to be flying at now? Just an Ogre Club, so making his way towards his BKB, though he does have a lot of early game items between the wand, the Aquila, and the drum. The one downside of this build is that he's going to suffer a little bit later on for inventory space, but for now, like the choice. It's nice to see sort of 2 mid-game carries facing up. There's no clear advantage either way between the Gyrocopter and the Luna. It does sort of come down to farm, and then the contributions of the other supports in the team fight, well, and all the other heroes. So, I mean, Luna is going to have Empower backing her up a little bit, but we'll have to see if Gyrocopter can get scary. Then he doesn't really care about Luna because he's going to be killing off all of her supports. So. Anyway, on mid, we've got a couple of heroes grouping up for OOT. Mag still just farming up the jungle right now. Didn't get a stack off on that small camp as he came through, but that's a very minor point. The hard camp not stacked. Either, as far as warding goes, we've already seen a second round of wards go up, and still sort of mirror match for both teams right now as far as warding goes, though perhaps a little bit more aggressive there. From Slayer, and continue to put the pressure on this Batrider. Really wanted to slow down that blink. There's lift up into the other Dream Coil in over the top. Now the drag back on Petrico, but the stun connect, and Batrider now in trouble. Petrico gonna skewer across, eats a Laguna Blade to the face. He will drop. All of OOT still alive, and Batrider deciding he's not done just yet. Tries to get the knockback. PSTM comes in from the side, and Batrider in the end will decide better of it, but Frigolite, he still wants something. Laguna Blade on cooldown. Illusory Orb's gonna fly through. Shouldn't really hit on anyone. And that's gonna be it for this middle lane, so nicely played there by OOT. Mag just continues to farm up a little bit in the jungle, and he should be jumping. Well, he'll jump up a little bit in a sec. Could have sworn I heard a Sven stun there, but just Warcry popping off, and Luna. This is another note that I should make. This is something else I should point out before anything happens that's too exciting. A nice option for Luna is don't max out Lunar Blessing necessarily. Hold points and then wait around until you see whether you need to jungle, whether you need to push, or whether you need to teamfight, and then decide Moonglaive or Lunar Blessing, because the glaive is actually helping her a lot in terms of farm right now. And Gyrocopter with nothing on the courier and a Midas picked up is actually a little bit behind the Luna right now. Does that reflect in last hits as well? It does a little bit. So that's part of the source there. But yeah, Luna actually leading in terms of GPM. She does have a tower last hit to her name, but the tier 1 tower on bot is gone as well. So that's not a significant difference in terms of gold. We've got 3 heroes smoking up towards top. Steph surged forward. He's got the Stormbolt stolen as well, and Imba in trouble. He's trying to pop off the Eclipse, but immediately popped by the Laguna Blade. And now Gasha trying to make his escape. Looks like he's gonna be okay, but no, the Batrider comes in. He's got the lasso available as well, dragging him back to the waiting arms of his teammates. And Sven going to fall as well. So nice nice two pickoffs found by OOT, trying to turn this one into a tower as well. PSTN furiously pushing on mid at the same time, trying to find a tier 1. In exchange, we're going to have some TPs coming in here from Stepstyle just to hold on to this one. The tier 1 tower up on top in trouble. The fortification is actually going to pop off. And the Batrider with this tower, whether or not he gets the last, he's going to have his Blink Dagger finished up. So actually a pretty good timing for a 2-2-2 Bat. Mighty comes up to try and slow things down just a little bit, but the tier 1 is already gone. Petrico putting some pressure down on bottom lane and trying to force OOT into making a decision about which lanes to defend. We've got two heroes pushing in on mid. Petrico's solo down on bot, so 1 TP should be enough to deal with him. Flox comes in, and he desperately needs this farm. Mech is a long way away from him right now, and Mag comes in from the rear. Petrico, he's going to the side to try and buy a TP, but the homing missile is coming in, and the vacuum is going to be in there in a second as well. Going to skewer himself through the trees. Missile comes in, and actually a Dream Call goes down. Mag now in trouble. He's going to throw down the call down, doing as much damage as he possibly can. Petrico in trouble, but he finds a nice 2-man reverse polarity. He does die at the same time, but this should be a double kill picked up by PSTM. Blink forward, one more lazy right click. Is it enough? Is the Shadow Poison enough? No, the salve from Mag. The drum charge as well. He might survive. Phase boots up. Oh, the Illusory Orb. Is it going to connect? No, don't walk into it. The jaunt. Mag still juking. The tower doing some good damage. PSTM trying to find the kills. The TP support comes in. What plays by Mag, and PSTM in the end will drop. Round of applause for this Gyrocopter. That was the most clutch salve I think I've ever seen. Imba's going for the tower up on top. He's going to pop the Eclipse. What a trap laid. So it's going to be a tower and a nice easy kill picked up by him.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So nicely played. We've got Flox moving to position to try and slow this down. There is no more lethal Eclipse left, so we should be able to hold off this push. Some pings going out on mid on Steph. He's still got the Illusory Orb stolen, so a little bit more survivable than normal on that Rubik. As far as the overall score goes right now, it's a 2-kill lead for OOT. And oh, the skewer comes through, a very short-range jump, but Steph actually finds himself in the trees, but Imba can see him. The call down in over the top, not sure what Rubik was going for there. Now Mag comes in, but everyone else is moving into position as well. PSTM blinks up onto the high ground, and now Mag in trouble. Is there going to be a Dream Call? Yes, there is. The silence, and no sneaky plays this time around. Just buys a TP before he drops to avoid losing some unreliable gold. Oh, the Batrider! Can he get the drag? He gets the knockback up onto the high ground, dragged down onto the low ground, and Frigolite waiting for him as well. Laguna Blade gonna be thrown out, but Imba's still alive. One more right click gonna finish that one up. Batrider now trying to escape the nuke through. Is there gonna be a shockwave? Is there gonna be a stun? The Illusory Orb now turning around. Nice flame break, putting some good damage down, and in comes Flox. Everyone split up a little bit right now for Slayer, but 3 heroes still here. Crashhead trying to make his escape, turns around for the stun, but he's so slow with that 1 stack of sticky napalm. Petrico has already died. PSTM lifted up into the air, thrown down. Shockwave, flame break gonna be dodged there by the phase shifts, but I think this kill should be picked up. A nice disruption. The urn charge still ticking. Purge up on the Batrider. He should pop just from that one. Stepstyle not done, still chasing after Mighty, and he's got the lift, he's got the shockwave, he's got the fade bolt, and he's got that kill. Triple kill for the Rubik after that engagement. So nicely played. A pretty good overall trade for OOT. It was a 2-kill lead before we saw the action happening on mid, and it's now a 3-kill lead. They did unfortunately lose their carry, and they also lost Gyrocopter, but Flox lost in farm, and he's going to get the vacuum down onto the low ground. Petrico going to be forced to skewer himself back up. Now the lift back. Steph is actually pretty low on mana, so can't do a whole lot more. But nicely played there up on top. Gasha, not Crasher. Crasher's in chat, Gasha's in game. Gasha just finding a little bit of farm, and hopefully I'll remember that name. Imba just working his way towards his BKB. He's almost actually got that one finished up. And these stacked Ancients from Petrico now making their way into the game. So nice use of his early time there, though. There's a smoke gank coming through, but it's straight into 4. We've actually got Petrico coming in from the side, looking for something, but the stun, the chain stun, he's actually going to drop. The Dream Call connects on 2, but there's no reverse polarity left, and the Dream Call stole. Not enough mana. Flox comes in. The Eclipse pops, but he gets the vacuum off, and the Laguna Blade puts an end to that Eclipse. We've now got some buybacks going. PSTM trying to find this kill. jumps into the Rosh pit, and Friggly, where are you going? Wrong base, buddy. He's looking for the TP out. He's still got a couple of wand charges up, still waiting, pops the wand, pops the TP, and a very sneaky place to TP out. The fight's not done. Flame break back from the Batrider. PSTM still chasing. He's got the blink up in just a second, but no Dream Coil. And Petrico, nothing to get him in there fast. So nicely played by OOT, not giving up a single kill and picking up 4, I want to say, in that exchange. And as that Shadow Poison flies towards me, it freaks out the render a little bit. So I'll just shift off to the side. Mighty is looking for this. Well, he's looking for the ward. Is he going to be able to find it? We've still got Mag up on the high ground, working his way towards his BKB right now. Petrico comes up, and this is a lot of heroes invested to try and find this ward. They do still manage to hold on to their stack for now. Looks like they're going to be able to get another stack off as well. Maybe not quite. It's too big. They need to clear it out before they can, before it'll stack again. So hopefully Luna's making her way across right now to clear that up, and will be doing so. So even with that death in the last fight, should have her BKB finished up after this. And Gyrocopter has actually eclipsed her in terms of net worth right now, though the BKB recipe is on the courier, so that'll actually bump her back up. It's slightly more even than it does appear. On mid, we've got some Shadow Demon Illusions just being right-clicked down by Flak Cannon. Gyrocopter working his way towards his BKB as well. It's not actually finished just yet, so actually trailing a little bit behind the Luna in sort of effective farm, if there is such a thing. Stuff comes in, throws out a ward, but that ward was just there, and there's still a sentry here to try and get rid of that one. There's a sentry down. They should be able to find this one, but the Dream Coil goes down on mid, and Batrider in trouble, just dancing around for now. Throws out the Flame Break, doing some good damage to PSTM, but Gyrocopter now purged up. Now the target Petrico is going to jump forward, throws on the reverse polarity just on one, covers it as well. No potential for a steal, but Rubik comes over to the side. Nice Dream Coil. PSTM almost dead. Earn Charge going to be finishing him off. Vacuum back onto the Sven. Losing the name there as well. Nice stun out from the Lina, and Flox finds himself a killing spree. So nicely done there, and should be getting pretty close to that mech, I would suspect. He's been farming for a while and finding kills, not really dying, so not sure where all the farm's gone. But anyway, tier 1 tower on mid, about to be claimed, and it's Gasha again. It's the name that I keep screwing up of the Sven, so apologies to him if he ever watches this replay, watches this VOD, sorry. Mag, he's got a couple of, well, he's gonna get maybe one more stack up on these Ancients, and then try and clear them out. Is his BKB finished up? Yes, it is. We've got a completed mech for Flox, and we've got a 4-staff flying out for Steph. So some big items picked up all around for OT, though is there a similar story over on the side of Slayer? Petrico looks like he's just farming his way towards a Blanc's Dagger. PSTM has his blink finished up, but not a whole lot of other farm to speak of, and Mighty not a whole lot either, so the majority on the Luna, who has now finished off her BKB, and we saw that come into play in the last fight. Also now up to level 16, so that Eclipse getting a little bit stronger there. Mag just gonna head back to base to heal himself up. He's got that 10-second BKB charge in his arsenal. Petrico working his way towards a blink and gonna be cursing himself if he misses any last hits, so doing a good job in that regard. We've still got fighting over this ward spot right now, and we'll see if Mighty puts down an observer ward in a really obvious spot at the moment, or if he tries to put an end to the ward wars right now. Okay, so a discussion of warding and counter warding, right? If somebody is contesting your wards, then so if you know that there's a ward down, you go and deward it, but you don't necessarily always put down an observer ward in an obvious spot. When it comes to the bottom rune, and it looks like we might have a team fight breaking out, but when it comes to the bottom rune, a sentry ward placed around here spots this ward, it spots this ward, it spots this ward, it spots this ward. So it's pretty easy to contest bot, and Batrider's actually looking for a pick-off there with his blink, but he doesn't have a 4-staff to get back, so he doesn't want to jump underneath the tower, especially with the potential for a Dream Coil, a Disruption, or a reverse polarity. The Dream Coil goes out, but Puck actually a little bit far away, and the Dream Coil was stolen there by Steph. Frigolite actually going to opt to break the coil at the end of the duration. Mag comes in from the high ground. It's a little bit disorganized from OT. They need to be careful not to be split up. The flame break isn't going to connect. And Slayer just backing off right now. Bat still looking for the pick. Comes in, looks for the drag. Does manage to find it on Imba. Petrico, is he going to be able to find the reverse polarity? No, he's not. The Laguna Blade killing him off. The wall drops as well. PSTM now in trouble. Has the phase shift, but no blink in time. 3 already dead, and OOT not done just yet. Going to be claiming this tier 2 tower as well. So now doubling Slayer's kills. It's over a 12k XP lead in their favor and a 4k gold lead as well. And I can finally finish that point about warding and counter warding. So this is, I guess this is an interest point, and this is going to be obvious for some people, but if you ward, so you put down an observer ward. So you're a happy support, you come along, you put down an observer ward. We've actually got OOT heading into the Roshan pit right now, but I don't think Slayer are going to be able to contest it. So that gives me some time to talk about this. You're a happy support, you put down an observer ward. The opposing support sees it, he comes down and puts a sentry ward, and then dewards your observer ward, and then he puts down his own observer ward. What's going to happen? Petrico, is there going to be a drag? It's still 10 seconds away. There's a disruption up the secure back. I'm never going to get to finish this thought. There's going to be a stun. Barrett is now in trouble. He's purged as well. This might be a one dead bat, but stuff actually 4 steps himself on the high ground. Go to Dream Call and the call down. Vacuum in over the top. What a team fight, and Sven trying to do what he can, but that's about it. Now a buyback. Well, Luno joining the fight along with PSTM, trying to make his way back in, but OOT, this is looking very similar to what we saw in the last game. Just all of a sudden snowballing out of control after one team fight, and then taking a second one. So now leading by about 15 kills, a whole bunch of gold in their hands as well. And 4 staffs up on both of the supports. So we can see some double 4 staff on the Batrider action. He's almost got his own 4 staff finished up. So if anyone gets grabbed, they are long gone. Barring a nice reverse polarity or something like that. There's a surge. Is there going to be a 4 staff? They don't even need it. There's a phase shift up on the puck. PSTM not able to get into the blink dagger in time, however. And Firefly may actually be one of the abilities that's impossible to blink out of immunity from. There are a couple of abilities that, in the order of triggers and things like that, mean that the instant you become, you stop being invulnerable, they actually deal damage before you can blink, even if you're spamming your blink key. Static Remnant is one of them, and I think there are a couple of others. Obviously, with a little bit of ping, it becomes more difficult as well. And with only 3 points up in the phase shift, Puck can't actually guaranteed blink, so that might also be the cause. Firefly may not be one of those exceptions. But yeah, there are certain abilities, there are certain skills where you can't actually blink away from them. Like, so say for example you're dead with an Aegis. If you drop a Static Remnant on top of the Aegis location, if a Brewmaster or something is about to come back, so someone who has a blink, maybe a TA, they cannot instantly blink. They can't really instantly blink away if they pop up out of the Aegis, even if they're spamming their key and trying to get out as quickly as they can. So I guess that's a minor note for anyone who's interested. And I'm finally going to finish this ward point. If you get dewarded, don't just go back and put your wards in the same place, and also make sure you put down the sentry first so that they don't see where your observer ward is, and then maybe use a different spot. So for example, let's talk about this bottom rune. If you get dewarded, come and deward them with just a sentry, and then place a ward here, or place a ward here, or place a ward that isn't going to be spotted out by the standard dewarding position. And then you can bait out a sentry from your opponents and win the economic battle that revolves around wards, and also win the site battle. Because you've got vision, so you see where they put vision, and you can go back and deward quite happily with only a 100 gold investment, as opposed to losing 225. No, losing 175. Petrico's going to be dragged back down on bot. He's in trouble. He's going to skewer himself away. Going to try and go for the TP. Is there going to be enough damage? Nice disruption there from the Shadow team, and the Rocket's going to chase him all the way back to base. SD is looking for a TP out of his own, and nice juke there. There wasn't actually any interrupts available. At the same time, teamfight happening up on top. Frigolite standing his ground, throws in Laguna Blade. Not quite enough to kill off Imba. Wow, 4 HP. That might have been a roll on the right click there, frankly, to find that kill. So a little bit unlucky for the Lena, but Imba, I guess, praising his lucky stars there. And yeah, I've been too busy thinking about this ward point and missing kills. Anyway, back to the game. We've actually got warding happening again, and exactly, the point. This is actually a ward that's dewarded by having this one, but it's a high ground ward, so it's a little bit more difficult to spot. But Slayers just saw this ward go down, so they can come and invest the sentry and just get rid of it. And that's only 100 gold investment to get rid of a pretty significant one for the Radiant, because while Observer wards are cheap, they're expensive insofar as the cooldown is long. And if you lose a pack of Observer wards, if you lose 2 Observer wards, then you either need to go blind for a little while to get a second pack up, or you can only have one set of wards on the, or one pair of wards on the map at a time. So there's actually some more intricacies to the ward battle, and I haven't been pointing it out as much as I sometimes do, but we've had a lot of action happening on screen, so it's been a little bit difficult to try and segue into it. Mag has actually opted to pick up a Sanjin Yasha on his gyrocopter, which is a little bit unusual, frankly. I saw the Yasha and I was frankly expecting the Manta style, but not going to be the case. Still finding some good farm from the Hand of Midas, and all of those kills that went in favor of OOT have put him fairly far ahead, and Steph has actually managed to find himself a Stolen Empower, so making the gyrocopter just that little bit scarier. Unfortunately, this Sanjin Yasha, it's nice in terms of move speed, nice in terms of survivability, but hopefully we'll see a big damage item as the next big pickup, since he's got so much survivability between the BKB and the Sanjin Yasha. He's unusually tanky for a gyrocopter, let's just say that. OT looking to group up and push in on mid, but there's now a Blink Dagger finished up on Petrico. There's some ping spam going out on that one. He needs to make sure it doesn't get cancelled by the flak cannon. We've got a missile flying in over the top, and Mag just trying to make use of this Aegis. He's still got a whole minute left as well, so he's going to take a whole bunch of damage. He needs to be careful, though. If he dies and then gets skewered back, that could spell trouble, and Bat finds a kill with only a Flame Break on the Shadow Demon. Not sure what the heck happened there, but we'll roll with it. Mag's low is actually going to be healed up, so maybe looking for round 2, but he either needs to die within 30 seconds, or he needs to be healed back up to full. So we'll see if Slayer just wait around for that one, depending on how close they are, or how tight they are on that Roshan timing. They're going to back off right now, but looks like OOT know that they've almost lost the Aegis, and Mag can't really die at the moment. So yeah, they're just going to try and heal him back up. He's lost the Aegis already. And unfortunate that he didn't get initiated on when he jumped up onto the high ground, but it was really smart play from Slayer not to kill him off and not to let OOT have that as the initiation. They could have used it as an initiation by killing him off and then skewering him back further into the base, but OOT would have been all over them, and that would have been trouble. Fluxplox almost has his rank 3 wall up, working his way towards the pipe as well. Batrider. PSTM jumps in, he gets the Dream Coil off on one, there's a 4-staff away, there's a second 4-staff up on the Lena. That's going to get him out of range. Nicely played, and Imba now chasing through. He's got the Eclipse ready, but there's so many creeps to drag back from Batrider. There's no 4-staffs left. The Laguna Blade thrown out. Petrico actually gets stunned by the very edge of that Light Strike Array. Imba pops up his BKB, but is it going to be enough? Pops up the Eclipse, but only gets a few pops out of that one. And Rubik actually has reverse polarity, double kill, killing spree for the Batrider. This is huge. And at the same time, one more kill found by Maglev Gank Train. Oh, and Steph jumps up onto the high ground, the Force Fade Bolt enough to kill off the Shadow Demon. So this is looking like racks, perhaps 2 right now for Out of Tangos. They're going to pop off a pipe as well. Everyone's dead on Slayers, so not sure what the heck is going on with that one, but I guess Fluxplox trying to show off his newly acquired pipe, and the GG well played is going to be called regardless by PSTM. So nice play by Out of Tangos, finding lots of pickoffs, some nice play out from, well, nice coordination between the supports as well, and Rubik going to throw out the reverse polarity on absolutely no one. You can't really play around with it since Rubik has a 0.1 second cast point, so it's kind of difficult to do the same thing that Magnus does frequently, which is start casting it, cancel it, start casting it, cancel it. And you can do that with all sorts of ultimates that have a global sound to create a bit of an annoyance for your opponents. Zeus is one of my favorites, but that's a very random tangent for me to go on. Anyway, this is the Adbrates TT Esports Dota 2 Weekly. This is our first week of this tournament. This was actually a semi-final match between Out of Tango and Slayer and Doxy. So Slayers is Doxy on the Binary Beast bracket. So if you're looking for them there, that's where they are. So Out of Tangos are going to advance, and this is the semifinal, so they should be advancing to the grand final right now. We'll see them then. If the other semifinal hasn't started just yet, then I'll be jumping straight into that one. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I've been Basecamp. I hope you enjoyed the cast. If you got any feedback for me, please feel free to leave a comment in the chat, or you can send me an email at basecampdota@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and follow and tweet the tournament to your friends and all of that. I'll be back with the next game pretty soon. And again, I hope to see you then.